Welcome to IHIP News. Pumps, what you got?
Well, I was just pondering, what is Trump trying to be like Putin and wants to take over land? Because we've seen his dust up about making Canada the 51st state. And now he's saying, I think the quote is, the U.S. feels ownership and control of Greenland is so important, which I'm like, is it? And then the coup de grace is the Panama Canal. He keeps saying that unless Panama cuts their transit taxes, that the U.S. is going to take over the Panama Canal. So I was looking. Do you know why he's so mad at Panama? Any guesses? They have accused him of tax evasion, which of course he's evading taxes in Panama. They're taking down the Trump name off of the buildings. And so now he's threatening with all the might of the U.S. to take over the Panama Canal again. I mean, I'm just like, what is he doing? He wants to take over Canada. He wants Greenland. He wants Panama. Is he running a race with Putin, wanting to take land back? What do you think?
Is he running a race with Putin, or is he taking orders from Putin?
It's a great distinction.
And I would go with the latter.
I think you're right. I didn't even think, yeah.
Because here's my thought process on this. You have Trump spoke to Putin a lot during his 4 years that he was in exile at Mar-a-Lago. While he was president of the United States, he embarrassed the country in Helsinki when he took Putin's side. You know, there's that first day in the Oval Office where you had the Russian heads of state in the Oval and dismissed everybody except for the translator. Then you have Donald Trump's boss, Elon Musk, who's BFFs with Putin. I think there's something far more nefarious at play. Putin is not an idiot. He's evil. He's nefarious. He's probably a sociopath, but he's not an idiot. And he has been playing this game with the United States for a very long time, psychological warfare. And he has injected all of this vitriol into the United States. He's used religion, racism, and a useful idiot named Donald Trump. Right. And now he's got another idiot, Elon Musk. And for some reason, everybody just goes and kisses Putin's ass nonstop. You have members of Congress, you have members of the Senate. So do I think Trump just thinks, oh yeah, I want to copy Putin? No, Trump's too intellectually lazy to think about Greenland or the Panama Canal or Canada. He's way too intellectually lazy to think about growing an empire. He doesn't have that in him. He'd rather sue a small newspaper in Iowa than be bothered with such things. So this had to come from somewhere. And I think it came from Putin, not to compete with Putin.
That's a great point, because you're right. He doesn't give a shit about anything but himself. He doesn't care about. I do think he has a personal animus with Panama because they're accusing him of tax evasion and taking his name off the buildings. But it kind of makes sense because Putin really doesn't have control of anything in North America. But if he could get Panama, well, I mean, Panama is Central America, but you know what I'm saying? Like in the Americas, he's like relegated over where he is.
I don't know that it's they're taking it over for Putin as much as I think they want the United States to take land. Putin wants to take, I mean, Ukraine is just the first step.
Right.
After that, it's Poland.
Right.
And that's why the Biden administration, and it's a huge national security issue for both Europe, the United States of America, and for democracy at large, that Ukraine be supported by NATO, by the United States, by the EU. I mean, that is so important. Trump doesn't think that's important at all.
That's right.
And Putin needs for the U.S. to not help Ukraine so that he can advance there. So my fear is, and I'm not a foreign policy expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just reading the tea leaves here, is that, okay, you get this land, I'll get this land. And Putin basically is controlling a lot of MAGA right now.
Yes.
I mean, all of the news that these people get on Facebook, on Twitter, it's all from Russian troll farms. All of these conspiracy theories, all of it leads back to Russia. Hillary Clinton was 100% right about all of this. Putin has an oligarchy. The United States is heading into an oligarchy. I think at some point he wants some form of an alliance is what I think. I mean, that's what would make sense to me, because Trump is the laziest, the most intellectually lazy person on the planet. He'd much rather tweet about the publisher of Vanity Fair saying his hands were small 15 years ago and just go down that rabbit hole for hours, caps lock on Twitter, than he would care about anything about Greenland. And if you look at geographically where Greenland is, you know, with Scandinavia, the United States, Canada, Russia's all up there in that northern hemisphere. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because you're right, Trump is just the laziest. Plus he's not very smart. He's just not.
No, I think we're going to find out that at some point that there's a lot more going on with Trump and Putin. There's a lot more going on with Putin and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And Putin has invested a ton of years, money, and time to create a lot of the angst that is going on with the American public. The fake news and all of that stuff has been psychological warfare. He has not had to launch one missile. And look at what a mess this country is. And he has the easiest prey on the planet with Trump. All, what's his name, Kim Jong-un had to do to get Trump to like him was to write him a letter telling him how great he was.
Right.
And then Trump gets on the national stage, international stage, and says, I'm in love with Kim Jong-un. We're in love. We write each other love letters. I mean, it's just humiliating. It's American weakness at its finest. These people are so weak to international threats. That's what blows my mind about the metamorphosis of the Republican Party. They used to all be about national security. It was a big deal when we were growing up. Republican candidates, a strong national defense, strong national security. All of that, the floodgates are opened up now, and it is the weakest president we have ever had. Ever when it comes to national security. There has never been a weaker president than he, in my opinion. It always seems like these wireless companies promise you a certain price, and then by the time you get your first bill, it is completely skyrocketed. It is ridiculous.
The hidden fees on these phone bills is unbelievable. That's why I love Mint Mobile.
Listeners, say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/news. That's mintmobile.com/news. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/news. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. Please see Mint Mobile for details.
No, I completely agree. And then you look at Tulsi Gabbard with all the intelligence information.
Kash Patel.
Yeah. I mean, the list goes on.
And all of the smart generals that would be surrounding him when he's sworn in, they'll all be shit-canned. They'll all be sent right down the river. I mean, to me, this is incredibly dangerous. And this is why Europe takes such a keen interest in looking at our elections, because their national security is so directly tied to ours. And they know, like, Ukraine is incredibly important. You have all of the MAGA people that are pro-Russia in that war and anti-Ukraine and anti-democracy. And that is a victory for the psychological warfare campaign that Vladimir Putin fought. And it looks like he is winning and will win because Trump won.
I agree. It's just, it flabbergasts me. I mean, the Reagan, tear down that wall, all of that, all those Republicans are just all in on Trump. It's absolute, the metamorphosis that he has created. But I think you're right. Putin helped a ton in that.
And I think it's going to be appeasement. You know, it's kind of like World War II happening again. And the sad thing is we're going to be on the wrong side of it.
That's right.
And there's just an appeasement that started with corporate media, and then all of the misinformation farms that get amplified and retweeted. Facebook is a goddamn cesspool of idiocy, and people believe that Russia is just this fantastic place to live. And the American public in general is so breathtakingly unaware that Ukraine was a democracy.
Right.
And that's what we support. They didn't even know where it is on a map. So to me, his talk of all of that is not him wanting to be a badass. Somebody is puppeteering that.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, we'll see you guys later. It's so entertaining. Tap the vein. So